Tonight, something ends. Not just a date on the calendar, not just another ordinary night. This is the closing of an entire energetic cycle. And listen carefully, because this is where most people fail without even realizing it. If you don't release this one thing before tonight ends, you won't just move forward. Realizing you reacted the same way.
Hello, Marcia. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll get started here in a moment. Hope you're doing well wherever you are, wherever your journey has you at this time. Hello, everyone. Excuse me. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is the first verbal conversation that I'm having today, so clearing my throat. All right. You might need to clear your throat. All right. You might need to do some throat chakra clearing. Okay. I do have quite a bit to share. Um, Quite a bit of wisdom has been downloaded to me over the last 24 hours or so. And so, again, I have a lot to share. Several dreams have been confirmations within that time. Thank you so much for tuning in. All right. Grand Rising, yes. Happy new astrological year. Okay, this is a new astrological year, the 321, the end of fall. The end of fall begins a new equinox. Also, closed out today, closed out the first, I was going to say Reiki meditation, closed out the first Mercury retrograde. Okay, closed out the first Mercury retrograde. All right, for the year of 10. 2 plus 2 plus 6 is 10. That is the year of the horse that we are currently in energetically as a planet, as a collective. We are in the year of the horse. The number 10. 10 represents completions. 12s represent finalities. 10 represents completions. 12 represents finalities. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, I have a lot to share. So, I'm going to share something that goes along with this new year ending, okay, and this new beginning, all right? So I have this chain here, right? And this chain here held this capsule, okay? And this is something that I recently purchased. You know, it goes around the neck, okay? And within this capsule, you can place crystals. Hello, thank you so much for tuning in, Sam. Okay, within this capsule, you can place crystals or whatever you would like. Okay, Currently, there's only a tiger's eye crystal within this capsule. However, last night, at some point in time, this chain broke, okay? And the other chain that I have around my neck with the Eye of Horus, okay? I've had this chain, I don't know, close, not quite a year, almost a year. I've been in I've been in Southeast Vietnam, or Southeast Asia, excuse me, Southeast Asia, for almost a year. I arrived in Malaysia, the first country I stayed in, confirmation in Southeast Asia, Malaysia, on 5/5 of 25. 5 times 5 is 25. That was the perfect time for me to arrive. I hope you pay attention to your journey in great detail, okay? Because nothing is a coincidence, okay? So I arrive here on 5/5. 5 times 5 is 25. Perfect time in alignment for me to arrive here, okay? In Southeast Asia, all right? And so this chain broke last night, okay? So that coincides with the ending of something old and the beginning of something new, or chains breaking, that energy breaking, whatever that cycle has been, breaking, okay? I got spiritual downloads for this happening in a completion, I don't know, 3 or 4 days ago, maybe 5 days ago, okay? So a chain being broken, chains being broken, okay? The gospel group Mary, someone's name could be Mary, first, middle, last, first, middle, last. Yes, Marsha, yeah, it's nice. It stood out to me, okay, when I was at the jewelry slash crystal store, okay, here in Vietnam the other day. I don't know, 2 weeks ago or something. All right. So there's something about a chain breaking. The gospel group Mary sings a song titled, I feel like that's a little loud, sings a song titled something like, take those shackles off my feet so I can dance. Okay. I just want to praise you. All right. I broke those chains. I broke those chains. Now I can lift my hands. Again, this happened last night as we were energetically transitioning from the old into the new. Springtime, springing forward, new flowers. Okay. New discoveries, new flowers, new discoveries. Okay. All right. So again, I have a lot to share. So yeah, if you do have to go, no worries. Okay. If you were guided here, this is your first time tuning in, you were divinely guided here by your ancestors, by Most High. Their true name is Aravat or Avarat. Okay, you can look this up. Aravat or Avarat. Okay, you can look it up. All right, that is their divine name. All right, so I want to speak to several things, okay? I don't know if we'll end up pulling energy. We'll see what Divine Source wants to do. You can feel free to ask your questions as we go along. I am a Master Builder 33. This lifetime I was birthed on the 333rd day of the year during the last lunar eclipse of 1974. That is 11/29/1974. The 333rd day, there was a lunar eclipse happening at that time. That is a divine feminine energy eclipse. A divine masculine eclipse is a solar eclipse. We are stepping into the new astrological year. Today, right now, 321. That is a 777. Also, there is a being, a divine being that tunes in all of the time. I do know that she was birthed on 321 this lifetime. So that is 777 for her. She happens to be birthed also on 1970. So she has 4 sevens. Born on 321, 777, and born in 1970, this lifetime around. So that's 4 sevens for her. Okay. Happy, astrological, and I don't know, I'm getting sublime birthday to her. Okay, I hope she's doing well. All right. Let's talk about the first thing that I have written here. And I did a lot of writing. I am in the process of writing my first full book. Okay. I do have a short story that is available on KDP. That short story is titled My Father, Your King. It's available for download for $4.99. $4.99. Okay? All right? No worries, Marsha. Okay? No worries. All right? And I say no worries because you say opposite, so no worries. You know what I mean? So there are upright Geminis, just like there are dark Sagittarians. So, you know, no worries. Okay? This is a channel where you can expect the truth. Okay? That's not what's written here. But this is a channel where you can expect the truth. I don't say that to boast about myself. I say that because I know how this spiritual warrior works. And I know how divinely guided I am. And I know how passionate I am about the truth and about justice. Those are not the same things. Okay? I am not politically correct. I use profanity. So, if I need to say fuck you, then I say fuck you. If I need to say that's a dumb bitch, that's a dumb bitch. If I need to say that's a dumb motherfucker, that's a dumb motherfucker. Okay? I am not politically correct. I am only interested in releasing the truth. Okay? So, there's something about getting back out there. Okay? As we welcome in this new springtime for the Northern Hemisphere and the fall time for the Southern Hemisphere of this called Gaia. Okay? And so there's something about getting back out there now. So you, like me, male and females, you like me, okay? Yeah, absolutely, Marsha. That's all I can be, okay? This is the mudra for Aravat. It's like an Ankh, okay? It's like an Ankh, right? That's all I can be, is who I am, all right? So, hello, Han. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stop putting your fingers against each other, please. Oh, okay, no worries. Well, you can go watch someone else, okay? And take your ass off, get your ass off my channel, okay? You can go watch somebody else, all right? To you who's asking this question about your wife, if you go to the description section of this video, you can send me an email and we can have an esoteric conversation. If you don't want to have a private esoteric conversation with me via Zoom, then you're not too interested in what the outcome of that journey is. Okay? I'm not going to discuss your private life here in public. So if you would like to have that conversation with me in private and confidential, you can email me at nehru, NEHRUPTAH @gmail.com. If you don't want to, you don't have to, okay? But it just shows that you're really not interested in that if you don't. Thank you so much for tuning in, Jen. Okay, shout out to you. Thank you so much for tuning in, Valkyrie. Thank you so much. Okay. So again, all of that information and the services that I provide, all of that information is in the description section of this live video. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. So getting back out there, and as I was saying, we all have, or most of us probably have, some type of Okay, no problem. Give me just one moment while I post. Okay, so there's the email address. All right. So, getting back out there, many of you, like myself, you have horror stories about dating websites and, and that sort of thing, and not just from dating websites or meeting others through dating websites. You're welcome. Okay. You're welcome. And now I'm going to delete that message. All right. Just for any karmics who decide to come in here at any later point in time. All right. So, getting back out there. What do I mean when I speak to getting back out there? All right. I'm talking about energetically opening yourself up to getting back out there. I don't mean getting on dating websites. I don't mean going to bars, okay? Because that's not where you're going to meet your divine masculine or divine feminine, male or female, whichever you are not. Keep in mind, we all carry masculine and feminine energy. This is how divine source can create a lion and a lioness because they are both masculine energy and feminine energy completely balanced out. They can create as they are. So they are masculine and feminine energy. A divine masculine can be a man or a woman, and a divine feminine can be a man or a woman. So keep that in mind, please. All right. So when I speak to getting back out there, when I speak to this, what I am speaking about is energetically being open. Okay. Your heart chakra being energetically open. Some of you might need to do, the Superman pose with your heart chakra. Some of you might need to do that to open up your heart chakra. Okay. That only happens when you are healed. Again, balanced masculine and feminine energy. That is the only time that you can be ready to receive a divine partner. You cannot receive a confirmation. You cannot receive a divine partner when you are not in position to receive one. That's just not how the universe and spiritual laws work. That's just not how it works. Okay? So you can manifest someone who's good, right? But that doesn't mean they're your divine partner. You can manifest someone and fall in love, but that doesn't mean they're your divine partner. That doesn't mean they're the one in the Akashic records for you. Okay? Hello, Sherry. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hello, Lakeisha. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hello, Mello. Hello, Mello. Okay? Interesting, Mello. That's an interesting way to put that. Sitting alone in the dark for 20 years. Okay? That's a long ass time to sit in the dark, Mello. Okay? Long ass time. I started this spiritual journey, consciously awakening, when I was 47, and I'm already ready to meet my divine masculine female. Okay? So sitting in the dark for 20 years, I'm not sure what was the reason, because that's a long ass time. I'm just saying, that's a long ass time. All right. Hello, Gigi. Okay. Uh, that's an interesting question. Okay, I'm not gonna answer that question. What's my favorite sandwich feeling? I don't know. Okay, and I do, but I'm not gonna answer that. I'm not gonna entertain that. Okay, and I'm gonna give you one more time to ask a dumbass question, Gigi. One more time. Okay. So, getting back out there, getting your energy ready to receive. Again, I'm not talking about going out there and dating him and her, going out there and seeing if this is the right one, seeing if that's the right one, seeing if that's the right. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you energetically being ready and positioned to receive this divine partner. Okay. Lesbian and homosexual relationships, no matter how much money the individuals have, lesbian and homosexual relationships are not divine unions. Are not divine unions. They cannot be. Because again, divine source is balanced masculine and feminine energy. He didn't create a lion to fuck a lion. Okay? He didn't create it that way. He created a lion and a lioness. Okay? He didn't create a stallion to fuck a stallion. He created a stallion to mate with whatever a horse is. He didn't create a cow to fuck a cow or a bull to fuck a bull. Okay? He created the bull to mate with the cow, you know, or the heifer. You know what I'm saying? This is what divine source created. I don't care what man authorizes. I don't care what science can do. Science cannot circumvent divine truth and divine law. Science cannot circumvent or overthrow divine law. So yeah, two females, they can go out there and somehow get a baby. Yeah, they could do that by one of them getting impregnated by some stranger's seed. Sure, they can do that and call it theirs, but it's really not. They can do that, but it's not. Two men, they can go out there and adopt a child or have a surrogate, but it's not really, it's not theirs. Okay? Again, truth is spoken here. Okay? And I don't care about being politically correct. My purpose here is to speak the truth. All right? Getting back out there, be in the energy of, don't become a serial dater. Okay? Don't become a serial dater. All right? That doesn't mean if someone asks you out for coffee, you say no. If you feel guided to say yes, say yes. Okay? I was listening to, I mentioned this in the last live, and yeah, you definitely confuse the children when you do things like that. That's for sure. And again, agree or disagree, it's divine law. Again, divine source made it the way that they made it. Okay? Divine source made it the way that they made it. You could disagree and think it's okay for lesbians or homosexuals to raise a child. Okay? Or get a child through a surrogate or whatever other means through science. But just because you can do it doesn't mean it's right or doesn't mean it's okay. I can go out and rob banks and kill people or beings, but that's not right. You know what I'm saying? So just because you can do it, that doesn't make it okay. Okay. Give me just 1 second while I delete Gigi and block them forever from the channel. All right. Hello, Jaden. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yep, you cannot change divine law, Jay. Absolutely not. You cannot. Okay? All right. Vanika, okay? We are still here and star seeds are still being birthed. Okay? So that statement is a lie. Okay? It's not too late because star seeds are still being birthed. Healers are still being birthed. It is not too late. It is not too late. And do you know what a sin is? Okay? A sin is simply going against your higher self. Your higher divine self, as you always were in the beginning, always was, and always will be. That's why in part of this title, it says, I was, I am, I remain in the title of this video. It says that because as you were in the beginning, so you are today, and so you will ever be, whatever that being is. And again, that's not human being. That's far from it. Okay? So that is a lie. That is a lie. And a sin is just going against your higher self. Okay? So, yeah. Uh-huh. All right. So, I've had a couple of dreams. I've had a couple of dreams over the last 24 or so hours, whenever the last time I was on live. You could be, Jay. Okay? But if you are, there are demonstrations of that in your life if you are a healer. Okay? So, yeah. I can rattle off physically healing this body and numerous things that I've manifested in healing this body. Okay? But, yeah. And these are documented things. This is not just shit I just say off the top of my head. Okay? Dialysis for 4.5 years due to witchcraft. Kidney transplant on 7/7/17. 7/7/17. Born with the umbilical cord wrapped around the throat chakra, attempting to choke me out to keep me from speaking, and the left arm to keep me from working. Okay. Healed myself of that. No more seizures after the age of 8. I started having them when I was 4, stopped having them when I was 8 because I healed myself at the age of 8. So, Jay, if you are a healer, there is proof. Okay, you don't need to wear it on the t-shirt, but if somebody asks you, you just roll out your healing resume. When somebody asks you, are you a healer? You just roll out your healing resume. Okay? I've never taken a COVID shot, never got COVID. Never. I refuse to have somebody inject me with something like that. Okay? And the only time they did inject me with something that I did not know about, or would specifically know what it was, is when I was in the United States Army for 8 years. But I never took the COVID shot and never had COVID. Okay? So, so this new life, this new energy, okay? All right? You could be seeing a situation now where the enemy, their attacks are subsiding, and you now see that journey. One, first of all, you need to be grateful for the journey. Okay? You need to be grateful for the journey. Okay? Confirmation, Jay. You healed your sister. Okay? All right? So the enemies, okay, for some of you, are now becoming cordial, energetically. Okay? Meaning the attacks cease. Okay? And there will always be another challenge. There'll always be another challenge. But the enemies that have been attacking you for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, okay, those energies are subsiding as we journey further into the age of Aquarius. All right? Hello, U7. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for tuning in. Okay. So, enemies becoming cordial. You could see this, you could sense this, dream it, what have you. Divine Source could just simply let you know. Your ancestors, they could just simply let you know. Yes, Sammy, it's definitely not an easy thing, all right? It's definitely not an easy thing. However, it can be done. And even though our journeys resonate closely with one another, we're all on different timelines. And that reminds me to say, take what easily fits for your journey. Take what easily fits here for your journey. Not everything here is meant for you and you alone, because there are 8.4 billion beings on this planet currently in 197 countries. You are not in all 197 countries, and you in and of yourself are not 8.4 billion beings. So take what easily fits. Okay? We are, but we are not far enough into the age of Aquarius. Okay? We are, but we are not far enough into the age of Aquarius. Okay? I like a good battle, Vanika. Okay? I like a good battle. Okay? I like a good battle. So yeah, I see you. I see your energy. I like a good battle, Vanika. I see your energy. So keep stepping your ass up, and I'm gonna keep knocking your fucking pitches out the park, bitch. Okay? Keep throwing your fucking pitches, Vanika, and I'm gonna keep cranking them motherfuckers over the wall at 500 feet. Come on, Vanika. I like a good battle, baby. Bring it on. Bring it on, baby. Bring it on. I see your energy, Vanika. I see your energy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just keep cranking them motherfuckers out of the park. All right? So the song, I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. Okay? I can see all obstacles in my way. All right? Resonates for those of us who are walking into the new, in this new season of spring, this new astrological year, 321, 777. Okay? Those of you who are, you can see clearly now. Those of you who are not there yet, again, I wasn't there last year on 321. I wasn't there the year before on 321. I'm there this year in 321. It's a journey, okay? Not a sprint. It's a journey, not a sprint. Okay? Jaden, you have a question? You have a question, Jaden? Did you not understand something I said? Okay. Next, I'm going to speak about divine intervention. Divine intervention. Oh, okay. So divine intervention. Okay. This is when non-human, high-ranking deities, non-human, high-ranking deities come in to assist you through some tough part of your journey. If you do not honor your ancestors, that could be part of the reason why things are moving slow for you. While ascensions are happening slow for you, why blockages continue to repeat, this could be why, because you do not honor your ancestors. It's not enough to say, thank you, Lord. That's not their name. It's not enough to say, thank you, God. That's not their name. It's not enough to go to church, because that's a karmic ass place. Did you hear what I said? Because it's religion. Okay? It's not enough to go to church because that's a karmic ass place. It's not enough to give tithes because that's just another form of human tax. 10%. Okay? And if that weren't the case, Divine Source would have stopped speaking to me in 2022 when I stopped giving to the religious organization that I left when I decided to leave religion. If the 10% tithe or tithing at all, giving money to a church was necessary for blessings, Divine Source would have stopped speaking to me a long time ago. They would have stopped giving me dreams, visions, ascensions. I would have stopped walking with Archangel Metatron a long time ago. My ancestors would have left me. Divine Source would have left me. I would have been a fish floundering out of water if the tithing was a mandatory thing in order for you to be blessed. The church, in most every situation, non-denominational, Pentecostal, Catholic, LDS, whatever, karmic, okay? Karmic and low vibrational. So, yeah, that's a better church, Valkyrie. Gaia, that's a much better church, okay? All right. Okay? So, Surya, okay? Surya, all right? So, a couple of things. So, Surya asked, how do I pray for increase, my job possibility, and cure my brother of schizophrenia disease? So, first, your brother. It may not be your journey to heal your brother of schizophrenia. Your brother needs to come to acknowledge the reason why they deal with schizophrenia. Okay? So, if your brother is rebellious, if your brother is non compliant spiritually, it's not your job to heal them. It's not your job. Okay? Their job is to heal them. If they need assistance, you'll be guided to do so. But if you have tried to do so and it has not worked, it's because it's not your place to do that. It's not your place. Okay? Yeshua did not heal everyone who came to him. Yeshua, the one falsely called Jesus, since the 17th century, even though they were born 2015 years ago, it's not their job. It wasn't their job to heal everyone. That's why transgressions against your higher self or sin continued, because it wasn't their journey to heal everyone that came across their path. So for your brother, you need to talk to your brother when they are sane, and you need to ask them, what are their choices? Okay? If they make karmic low vibrational choices, you're wasting your time trying to heal somebody who really truly isn't ready to be healed and just using you as a crutch. Surya or Surya or however you say your name. You're wasting your time. Okay? Tough love is sometimes the best love. Tough love is sometimes the best love. Okay? So, let them go on their journey. They're only your brother this lifetime, perhaps this incarnation. Release them and stop casting your pearls before swine, because they're just stomping on them. They're just crushing your pearls. So yeah, they're just crushing them. So, all right. That next thing you asked about was a job. Okay. So, I'm going to ask you a question. Has Divine Source, Surya, has Divine Source been guiding you to start something on your own? That's the first question I will ask someone when they say, why am I having difficulty finding employment opportunities? When I have all these qualifications, I have all of this experience, I have this degree, I got that degree, I've been to school for this, I got certifications in that, I got da. So, there's something that you're ignoring. You're either unwilling to relocate. Okay, you might need to leave your brother. And again, that might sound harsh to you, but it's your journey. Don't let them fuck it up. Okay? Don't stay attached to that just because you feel like you're going to leave them. Okay? Okay, Vanika. Okay, no problem. No problem. I see I'm gonna have to kick you out. I am answering the questions directly. I am answering the questions directly. You're saying I'm not answering the questions? I'm answering the questions directly. It's time for your ass to go. Okay? Goodbye. I hope you enjoyed your karmic ass time here. Goodbye. All right? Give me just 1 minute while I get rid of Vanika, which is a venereal disease. Okay? Let me get rid of Vanika's energy out of this collective. Okay? And her vomit energy. Let me get rid of Vanika. Hello, Kim KT. They call me Mr. Angry. Wow. They call me Mr. Angry. Am I angry, collective? They just don't understand balanced masculine and feminine energy. They just don't understand They just don't understand balanced masculine and feminine energy. Okay? So they would call Kobe selfish. Why? I don't know. Because Kobe didn't want to pass it to his lazy ass teammates. Do you know that Kobe is the all-time leading shooting guard in assists between regular season and playoffs? So they call him a ball hog, but he leads all shooting guards in the history of the NBA in assists. How the fuck is that possible if he's a ball hog? She says, yeah, that I'm angry. They just don't understand. I said she, whoever. They just don't understand balanced masculine and feminine energy. They just don't understand. Okay? Yeah. Mello said, "Go out and do something that you feel good about." Thank you for saying bye, Sammy, to Vanika, the vomit, the venereal disease. Thank you for saying goodbye to her. Okay, and joining me in that energy. All right. So yes, Sergey, that's the first thing I would ask you. If you're having difficulty finding employment to go help somebody else build their dream, maybe it's time for you to build yours. If you're having difficulty finding employment that is helping somebody else build their dream today, I would ask you first, is it time for you to build yours? The next thing I would go to is location. So, do you need to relocate? Are you afraid to relocate because you're attached to your brother? You don't want to leave your brother. Allow them to kill your hopes and dreams. Again, they are your brother for only this lifetime. And that's what Divine is saying. They are your brother for only this lifetime. So don't let them fuck up your journey just because you couldn't detach from them or you were afraid to physically walk away from them. They're on their own journey. They have their own set of Akashic records, separate from yours. They have their own book of life that they have to follow. It's not your job to read it to them, and it's not your job to interpret it for them. It's not your job. Okay? So, answer those questions, and then feel free to send me an email, and we can have further discussion about your journey. Me and my cat fall asleep for 14 hours. Okay, U7, I'm not sure where you're going. You might be the next karmic ass to get deleted out of here, U7. I don't know what the fuck you talking about you and your cat. Okay, I don't know what that is. Okay, I'm just reading your comments, catching up to where you are, collective. That's all. And thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. We have 19 in the room and 23 likes, 1932, 1923. Ohio River West on projects, okay? Okay, all right. So, divine intervention, okay? Divine intervention, okay? This is when, again, non-human beings, deities, come in to assist you on your journey during a very difficult time, a tough time, or to keep in line with divine's plans, a divine intervention. On earth, when does an intervention happen? When someone seems to be getting so far out there that they can't pull themselves back. So an intervention needs to happen, right? In the 3D. Family comes together, friends come together, they have an intervention. Make sure that this person gets the help that they need. And eventually, even those friends and those family members have to realize if that help is being rejected, they keep leaving the treatment facility. At some point, you got to be like, you know what? You're not willing to help yourself. I can't do anything for you. At some point, that seems to be a hot button for this live. If you're not willing to do the work for yourself, here's my tough love. I have to cut and release you. Here's my tough love. I have to cut and release you because you're not willing to do the work yourself. I'm not dragging anybody around. The journey is tough enough, me walking by myself. I'm not going to be putting you in a wheelbarrow trying to lug you around on my journey. I'm not doing that. Divine masculines, divine feminines, emperors, empresses, high priests, high priestesses, it's not your job to lug somebody else around on your spiritual journey. You provide assistance, and when you see that assistance being trampled on and mistreated, it's just like unconditional love. You take it away. They'll realize it one day. They'll realize it. That one day, that's what real love was. Ooh, that's what real caring was. Ooh, that's what genuine help. Ooh, that's what, they'll realize it at some point, but they need to come to that realization. They need to. And again, tough love, cutting them away, walking away. Okay? Sammy. Okay? So Sammy. So if you're having a difficult time tapping into your masculine energy, okay, then I would say that this is something that needs to be answered within you. So, Sammy, look back on your childhood. How were you raised? Okay? What are some, that was a horn honk. How were you raised, Sammy? What are some of the things that you were taught as a child, Sammy, to get back into your feminine energy? Were you the only male in a house full of females? One of the questions that I ask a lot, Google a lot of questions, AI a lot of questions. Why is it that it seems like it's a necessity, or a require, and it's not, but it seems that way. Why does it seem like it's a necessity or a requirement for a male hairdresser to be a homosexual? Is it possible? It is possible. It is possible, confirmation, Bert. Is it possible for a male hairdresser to be as straight as I am? Is that possible? It is possible. But the environment, because it's mainly females, okay, in cosmetology, the environment cultivates a feminine energy, okay? So Sammy, ask yourself, what environments are you putting yourself in? Sammy, for all I know, you could be a homosexual today. That's energy that you need to kill. That's a demon that you need to destroy, Sammy. Because that's something that's been put on you by low vibrational demonic forces, energies, families, friends, again, the household you grew up in, whatever that happens to be. So, how do you get into your masculine energy? You get to the source of why you are so much in your feminine energy. Confirmation, baby. I love a confirmation on the truth. I love a confirmation on the truth. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, okay. So you're a female. Okay. So if you're a female, thank you so much for saying that you are a female, because that is two very different pictures. Okay. So Sammy, you are a female. All right. Then if you are a female woman, today, you have been taught certain things that women aren't supposed to do. So you could have been taught that women don't sit like that. You sit like this. You sit with your legs crossed. And yes, obviously, if you have a dress or a skirt on, please close your legs, okay? All right? But, if you have jeans on, sit however you shorts on, you can sit however you want to sit, right? So you could have been taught certain things. A lady doesn't walk like this. A woman doesn't talk like this. A woman doesn't say fuck you. Well, yes, they do. Okay? And there's nothing wrong with a woman saying that. Okay? In past videos, I give a description of the difference between a female, a woman, and a lady. So it sounds like, Sammy, you are a lady. You are a lady. You might carry your purse clutched on your arm, between your arm like this, right, Sammy? You might be a lady. Sammy. What's up, Christine? Okay. Thank you so much for tuning in for the time that you can tune in. Always good to see you. Always good to have you at the table. All right. So, Sammy, for you, you were, look back. How were you taught that a woman should handle herself? Okay. Again, if you grew up in a house full of women and had no masculine energy around you to give you a masculine example, getting into your mambasita energy, yeah. Okay. So the other way that you can do that, again, you could be a lesbian today. You need to kill that demon, because that is putting you in a more feminine energy. Okay? So go do something. I don't know. Rock climb. Go, yeah, something. Okay? And again, I always point to energy because to me everything is. So I would say it's a chakra thing. It's an aura thing. I would say it's a vibe thing. So something needs to be cut out. You need to forget some lessons that you were taught falsely by those who raised you. Okay? A woman can't do that job. Yes, they can. I'm not saying a woman is as strong as a man, because that's just not the way divine source made us. Okay? Testosterone is stronger than estrogen. Let's not argue about that. Okay? But that's for a reason. It's because of what the male is here to do physically. They are meant to lift more, do more push-ups, do more pull-ups. They're meant to do those things. Okay? All right? Of course, Sammy, of course. And again, as always, you can email me, okay, and we can have further discussion. That's a great conversation. Okay? Confirmation, Sherry, on the F word. Yeah, it's never disrespect. Well, I won't say it's disrespect, but that's definitely a masculine phrase. Okay. See, I read something you said, Sammy, about impeccable manners. See, that's a lot of feminine energy, there. Yes. Hello, only one. Grand rising to you. Grand rising to you. Okay. You know what to do to Gigi. Okay. Cord cut. Okay. You know what to do to Gigi, Sherry. All right. So divine intervention. These things could look like natural disasters. So a tsunami could be a divine intervention. A tornado could be a divine intervention. Or a hurricane could be a divine intervention. It doesn't have to be a spiritual thing. It can be a earthly or a natural disaster. It's snowing in July could be a divine intervention. Why? Because it doesn't snow in July, typically, northern or southern hemisphere. It doesn't snow in July. Well, maybe in the southern hemisphere. In the northern hemisphere, it doesn't snow in July. So if it snows in July in a place where it doesn't typically snow, divine intervention. Okay? So this could be natural things as well, not just spiritual things. We're talking about divine interventions. Okay? And again, these are things that affect lower dimensions when the lower dimensions get off track at some point. Or for you on your own personal journey, when things need to be brought back on track. You sway way over here. Ooh, divine intervention brings you back over here. That doesn't always happen. And hopefully, you only need the divine intervention for justice and not because you've fallen off the wagon. All right? Yeah, perhaps, Mello. Perhaps. Okay? All right, and again, divine intervention, whatever that natural or spiritual is, it is to get you back online, to realign you with divine's purpose and plan. Those who divine loves, they chase. Those who divine loves, they chase. I often tell the story. I show my light, the good, high vibrational, and the low vibrational. I often share a story about me when I decided to walk away from divine source and my journey in 2004 or 2005. Okay, I ended up getting a DUI in 16 months. Ended up getting a DUI. Because of the DUI, I lost my license, and because I lost my license, I needed my license for the occupation I was in at that time, and I lost the job. Doom, 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 doom. Divine source was like, oh, hell no. No, you don't. No, you don't. So those who divine loves, they chase. They don't let you get away. So if you feel like an energy's pulling on you to change your evil, Lord knows you got to change, baby. Change your evil ways. Yeah. Those who divine source loves, they chase. So if you're being chased by divine source because shit is falling apart, there's an indicator. There's an indicator. Okay? All right. So what are some of these divine interventions that we can look back on the past in history and see? The Red Sea, the splitting of the Red Sea. Okay? Divine intervention. Actually happened. Divine intervention. The parting of the Red Sea. So that the ground was made dry, so that the children of Israel could walk across it, and those that they were being chased by would drown because the sea began to close up as they got to the other side. Divine intervention. What's another divine intervention? I have something else wrote down. Abraham, I want you to take your son, Isaac, your first son, and I want you to sacrifice him. This is the son that I promised you, but now I want you to sacrifice him. And divine was just wanting to see if if Abraham was going to follow. Okay? Oh, thanks, Miguel. Divine source just wanted to see if Abraham was going to follow. So Abraham was obedient, and Abraham took Isaac, told him they were going somewhere. Isaac asked him, Daddy, if we're going to make a sacrifice, where are we going to get the goat? We didn't bring a goat with us. Abraham was like, God will provide. Gets to wherever they're going, and Abraham is standing there, and he's about to end the life of his eldest son. And divine source provides a ram in the bush as the sacrifice. Thank you, divine source. I get a little emotional about that story. I don't know why. Right now, I get a little emotional about that story. Divine source shows up and says, Abraham, well done. Well done. You were willing to sacrifice that meant the most to you. This is what I have for you. I'm going to provide a divine intervention. There is a ram right now caught in the bush. You didn't even see that ram 2 minutes ago. There it is. Don't end the life of the son that I promised you, because that's not the purpose of this lesson. There's a divine intervention over there stuck in the bushes for you. Go get that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay? All right? I wouldn't say Job was a divine intervention. I would say Job's journey was more of a divine plan to bless him with all these things: cattle on 1,000 hills, the horses, the mules, the oxen, the corn, the wheat, the family, the all of the prosperity and abundance that Job had. I would say that was a divine plan or journey not an intervention. Okay? When divine source began to remove all of these things to see if Job would still serve him, and divine source ultimately saw that Job remained faithful and would not walk away, then divine source decided to give him that plus, I don't even know, 100 times, 1,000 times more, 10,000 times, million times more, 100,000 times, how much ever more than what he had before. Okay? And I can tell you for sure, it would be tough, it would be challenging to lose a spouse, your sons, your daughters, their spouses, grandkids, all your cattle, your house, be homeless, have blisters. You know what I'm saying? That would be tough to do. But Job did it. Okay? So I would say that was a divine plan rather than a divine intervention. Okay? Hello, Alicia. Thank you so much for tuning in. Good question as always, Christine. Good question as always. I am having a wonderful day here in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, or I continue to. It's 8:57 in the evening on 3/21 here in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. Okay? The flood, divine intervention. The flood. Why? Because when the flood happened at the end of Methuselah's lifetime, that's significant. So the oldest being on, I always laugh when I see these little clips on Instagram. I don't have X or Twitter, okay? But on Instagram, they have these little clips. Oldest person, 105 years old. Oldest person, 116 years old. That is so not even true. Okay? That's the oldest documented person on that whoever put that up there is aware of, or whoever found that individual is aware. There's somebody on this planet who's 130 years old. They just haven't found them. They don't know where they live. I guarantee you. There's somebody here who's far older than 116, 105, 110. Earthly man today, technology, they just don't know where they are. I assure you of that. Okay? So I always laugh when they say that. So Methuselah, same thing when they say who's the tallest man ever. Waldo, whatever his name is, he's not the tallest person ever at 9'1" or 8'11" or whatever he was, okay? There were giants that walked these planets. Their bones are being found in Minnesota, in America, and in other places, okay? All right? So, yeah. Whoever whoever that is, they're not the tallest ever. They are not. They're just the tallest that man has record of. That's all that means. And that's different than the truth. Okay? So man's records are not always the truth. Duh. Okay? So pay attention to the propaganda. So the flood, this happened at the end of Methuselah's. Methuselah is Noah's grandfather. Methuselah is Noah's grandfather. Okay? So Methuselah, at the end of Methuselah's time, Methuselah, 969 years old, he leaves. Okay? Then the flood happens in that same year. Okay? And Noah's told 100 years ago, 100 years prior, it took 100 years to build the ark, first of all. And I believe he was told at the age of 300 or 400, at that age, Noah was told to build this ark. And it still took another 100 years. Talking about age. Okay? Still took another 100 years. Check it out. Go look it up. How long did it take Noah to build the ark? 100 years. Okay? Imagine all the animals that had to fit on there and the size of this ark. Okay? 100 years. And the trees had to grow in order for him to build the ark. 100 years. Okay? So, so with that, the flood came because why? Rebellion, disobedience. Man deciding to follow low vibrational karmic laws, deeds, do deceitful, underhanded things, lie, cheat, steal, kill, destroy. And divine says, you know what? The earth, Gaia, that planet, that portal, it needs an intervention. And I'm going to do it through water. So, at the end of Methuselah's life, 969 years, the transition was man's longevity ended with Methuselah. And from that point on, man began to live shorter and shorter lives. So, Noah, because of his bloodline, he was grandfathered in. But Noah's grandkids, they probably didn't live to be 500 years old. And then their kids didn't live to be 200 years old, and so on and so forth. It got to a point to where in, I don't know, 1800s, 1700s, the average lifespan, if you live to be 60 in 1780, you were considered like, wow, you live to be 60? Whoa. Because the decrepitation, I don't even know, I'm just divine grit, the decrepitation, the whatever, the downfall of man. So why give you more time on a planet that I created for starseeds, light workers, and healers? Why give you more time on a planet when you're only going to do worse things with your time? Why give you more time when you're only going to do worse things with your time? Why? Might as well end your life at 40 and call it cancer. Might as well end your life at 35 and call it a car accident. Why? Because you're fucking up anyway. You know what I'm saying? You're not following what I'm saying anyway. You're not following spiritual laws anyway. So, right? So, yeah. Okay? Today, man's longevity is increasing on Earth. Human longevity is increasing on Earth because man is becoming wiser about some things. The way that they treat their body, for instance. Man is becoming wiser about this. The type of water that they drink. Do not drink the water here from the faucet in Vietnam. Okay? All right? So, yeah. That is helping man's longevity here. All right? Also deals with the age of Aquarius. Okay? Also deals with the age of Aquarius. All right? Any other examples I have written down here? Okay? Enoch's ascension. Okay? For those of you who do not know, Enoch is Archangel Metatron today. They are the keeper of the Akashic records. That is the master scribe. So if you want access to your Akasha records, you need to connect to Archangel Metatron. And those Akasha records are written in Arabic. They're written in Arabic. The original name of Issa is, or Yeshua, is Issa. It wasn't Jesus. That name did not start to get used until the 17th century. Issa is Arabic, and that was their original name. So, you want access to your Akashic records? Connect with Archangel Metatron. He'll be glad and happy to connect with you. Okay? So, Enoch's ascension. It is well documented that Enoch did not die as most humans do. Enoch ascended and just one day was not here. Okay? Yeshua's resurrection was a divine intervention. Most of those who saw him get plummeted, and pelted and spit on and stabbed and all that stuff, most of them, they had no belief whatsoever that he was not going to be there whenever they went to roll the stone away, whenever they went to check the cave, whenever they went to check the tomb. They had no faith whatsoever. Of course his body's going to be, we killed him. What do you mean he's not going to be there? I'm sure even believers were, Wow, they killed him. He's not going to be back. He's not going to get back up because I saw him die. Divine intervention said, nuh-uh, watch this. Okay? And they went back and they checked it in 3 days. Body wasn't there. Where was it? Divine intervention, resurrection, divine intervention. Okay? So, how long have I been talking? For a minute. Feel free to ask your questions, okay? Feel free to ask your questions, okay? Again, a lot to share, okay? So divine source, on the first day, we read in the religious book, hello, thank you so much for tuning in. Try something new. We are here right now, spiritually ingesting and eating from the table of something new. Try something new, people. Put the Bible down for a couple of months and read another canonical text. Okay? Go pick up the Gospel of Thomas. Go read the infancy of Yeshua. Go read the Cave of Treasures. We are now sharing the Aquarian Gospel of Yeshua the Christ every Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Put the Bible down and try something new. Welcome in, try something new. Okay? So we read in the religious book that divine source on the first day created this, second day created that, third day created that, fourth day, fifth day, right? Sixth day, seventh day rested. Seventh day is Saturday, not Sunday. The beginning of the week is Sunday, not Monday, despite what the apocryphal system, divine source is saying, despite what the apocryphal system is teaching you. Okay, Monday is not the beginning of the week, Sunday is. Of course, try something new, and thank you for coming in right on time. Okay? So, on the seventh day, divine rested. So, in addition to creating the sun, Ra, in addition to creating Hansu, the moon, in addition to creating the planet that we walk upon in the 3D at this time, in addition to creating the oceans, the lakes, the rivers, in addition to creating those, also at one time at the beginning, the land was one big land mass. There was no separations of oceans. That happened after the flood or upon the flood. Prior to, all the land mass was one big land mass. Okay? And if you look at a globe, you can put it together. Or if you look at a flat confirmation. And if you look at a topical map of the entire earth, you can see how it fits together like a puzzle. In the beginning, it was just one big land mass. Okay? Confirmation, Sherry, for getting out of your Job season. All right? And so, in addition to the lands and the animals and beasts of the field, birds of the air, fish of the sea, in addition to all of this, what were other things that divine source laid out at that time? Spiritual laws. Spiritual laws. Okay? So, one of our next classes coming up via Zoom will be the 7 spiritual laws or the 7 spiritual principles, along with the 7 spirits of divine source. The 7 spirits of divine source. Those correlate or connect directly with your 7 chakras: root, sacral, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, and crown. Confirmation, Bert. 7s. Today is 777. It all goes together. It all goes together. Okay? What is meant when divine source speaks of a 3-strand cord not being easily broken? That's not talking about you, the church, and I don't know, whatever, God. You know what I'm saying? That's not what that's talking about. That's talking about body, soul, spirit. That's what that's talking about. So you yourself are a three-strand cord. You yourself, I don't know how to do that with my fingers. You yourself are a three-strand cord. Okay? You yourself are a three-strand cord that once you align, is not easily broken. You, in and of yourself, just like the title of this video says, I was, I am, I remain. You are a three-strand cord. That is what is meant by that. It's not the church, you and God. Nope. Don't let that karmic minister fool you. Don't let that pedophile priest tell you otherwise. Okay? So spiritual laws were put into place during this time as well. Not just the creation of what we see in the 3D. Spiritual laws were put into place at this time. Okay? Okay. So you often hear me talk about those of you who that's my Mormon neighbors. You know, I was looking up something about Mormons. Not a coincidence, Mello, that you mentioned Mormons. I was looking up Mormons and polygamy as I was writing or adding more to the book that I am currently writing, which is called Alone If I Must. That's the title of the book. I shouldn't say what it's called. Okay? Alone If I Must. All right? And so in writing this book, of course, I'm having time to reflect, look back on my journey, you know, the warlock who took my first wife, who I thought was my father when I was growing up. He raised me as his son, but I'm not his son. He took me from another man. And you know what I mean? Just like thinking about the journey, how I met her, that particular woman, when I was in the 7th grade. She was in the 7th grade. And he met her when we were both in the 7th grade. She would come over to the house. And then got reconnected with her in 1996, got married in 1996. 2 years later, he did his witchcraft on her, the same witchcraft or similar witchcraft that he used on me to cause kidney failure in 2013, used that same magic on her in 1998, and she chose to leave me and not come with me to Germany. And so in thinking about all these things, sometimes I had to laugh, okay, because some of this shit sounds like just like out of this world. It sounds so bizarre, but it literally happened. It sounds so strange, but these things actually happened. Okay? And so in that, talking about polygamy and all of that, I looked up Mormons, okay? And he wasn't a Mormon. He was just a religious ass demonic individual. And so I looked up, where did the belief about polygamy and all of that with Mormons and all that stuff come from, okay? And it came from the founder, who said that he got a word from divine source that men were to be with many women for the repopulation of the planet. And this is in 1890, okay? Or something like that, okay? So in 1890, or when around there, he says he got this word from divine source. There was nothing wrong with the Earth's confirmation. There was nothing wrong with the Earth's population in 1890. Nothing. Nothing. But divine source gave him this rule. Today, the majority of Latter-day Saints do not practice polygamy, okay? Only Latter-day Saint fundamentalists, as they're called, fundamentalist Latter-day Saints practice polygamy. And again, he wasn't polygamist. The warlock on my journey, he wasn't he wasn't a Latter-day Saint, but just a demonic witchcraft worker, okay, who promoted himself as a reverend, as a pastor, okay? So I started looking into that. And as I was thinking back on my journey and again, doing more writing in this book, yeah, very interesting you mentioned Mormons. So, polygamy. Okay. Today, again, most of them do not believe in that or practice that. So back to the vertebrae, okay? If you have questions, feel free to ask those. All right. Um, so you often, those of you who have tuned in the past, you've heard me speak about on the left side of the physical body, the Christos flows. That is the Christ in you. It is a clear liquid and it flows up and down your vertebrae on the left side, up from your occipital nerve down to the tailbone, back up to the occipital nerve at the top of your vertebrae, back down to your the end of your tailbone. Okay. Right side is Kundalini energy. Kundalini energy. That is connected to your creativity, sacral energy, rebirth, those things. Kundalini energy. Okay? On the right side, and its energy flows up and down vertebrae. So you have water and fire flowing up and down, energy flowing up and down. You want to know why you get hot when you get horny? We can have grown folks conversations. Most every live, we have at least one grown folks conversation. Here comes this one. So you wonder why you get hot when you get horny? It's because of the Kundalini energy. That is the fire energy that flows up and down your vertebrae. Okay? Your back is one of the first places that gets hot, even if you're standing up in those moments. Your back is one of the first places that warms up because of the Kundalini energy that flows up and down the right side of your vertebrae. Okay? Oh, yeah, there are still quite a few. Again, I grew up in that type of family. So, yeah, even though he was not a Mormon, that was part of my childhood. Throughout my teenage years, I lived with him. So, yeah, and he had 8, 9 women living with him at the same time, sometimes in the same house, sometimes in 3 or 4 houses. They all knew each other. We all went to church together. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So so when talking about this is where I'm going with the vertebrae. Okay. So you have 33 vertebrae, 33, 33, 33, 33, 33 vertebrae, 33. Okay. At birth, as you become an adult, they fuse into 24. Fuse into 24. So you have 33 at birth fusing into 24. What's the difference between me, the size I physically am today, the body that I'm in, and Shaquille O'Neal? What's the difference? He doesn't have more vertebrae. He just has bigger vertebrae. Okay? He doesn't have more bones in his hand. He just has larger bones in his physical hand. Okay? That's the only difference. Okay? He has the same amount of bones that every other fully grown, not missing any limbs or anything male has. Male and females have different amounts of bones. I think females have 203 and men have 201 or something like that. Someone can correct. I don't know what that number is. That's just off the top of my head. I don't know. It's something like that. Okay? Women have a couple more bones. This is given to childbirth and for the expansion of the hips during pregnancy. Okay? All right. So 33 at birth, fused into 24, 2, 4, 12, 12, fused into 24 as an adult. All right. 7 cervical, 12 thoracic, 5 lumbar, 5 sacral, and 4 coccygeal, however you say that word. Okay. So cervical is neck, 7 in the neck, 7 in the neck, 7 vertebrae. 12 in the chest, okay? 12 in the chest area, the thoracic area. 5 in the lumbar, okay? Lower back. And 5 in the sacral, okay? Or sacrum area. And 4 in the tailbone, okay? 4 in the tailbone. So, why do I mention all of this? Because again, we are going, one of our classes is going to be on, and I also thought the numbers were divine as well, because again, divinely made, even the human being was divinely made when they were created in God's image, in divine source's image. Not the way they look, okay, but the way that they are made. There's a difference. I'm reading something. Confirmation. So where did this 33 vertebrae, how did all of this come about? So I was meditating today, and divine source told me 7 vertebrae. And I was like, 7 vertebrae? I was like, we got more than that. Like 7 vertebrae, right? 7 sections. 7 categories. That's a better word. 7 categories is what divine source meant. I never saw it like that. Divine source today said 7 categories during a meditation. So we will be speaking about 7 categories of the physical body, of the vertebrae, 7 spirits of divine source, your 7 chakras, how all of these things line up. 7 lamps of divine source. Those lamps are you. Okay, and again, your chakras. Hello, all right. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, a lot to share today. A lot to share today. Okay. Next, want to speak a little bit about the 3 dreams that I had. I'm not going to go into detail about the dreams because I didn't even write the details down. I just wrote, "What's up, Shining?" Okay. No worries, no worries, no worries. Thank you so much for tuning in for as long as you can. All right, Shining, thank you so much. And same thing with Christine and any others who are traveling at the office, you know, or what have you, who's tuning in at this time. Thank you, even if it's a home office. All right. So I didn't write down the details of the dreams this time. I wrote down the meanings of them. Hello. There's someone at the door with a baby. Probably one of the hotel people. The baby is hilarious. One of them has an infant or a toddler. She's a toddler, and cute as can be. I think she's in one of the photos that we took for the Lunar New Year a couple of weeks ago. If you go to the community tab, you'll see the toddler in one of those pictures. Cute as can be, but yeah, yeah. She was warming up to me, and then I grew the beard, and I think it kind of freaked her out. So she's like, "Ah!" She's back to that again. You know what I mean? But yeah. She was warming up to me. But then I grew the beard out, and I think that kind of got to her. Yeah, it could be a stork. Could be a stork. You know. Much to someone's surprise, listening in, at 51, I'm definitely up for being someone's father today. Okay? I'm definitely up for that. Okay? Bringing seed, confirmation. Bringing seed into the world, I'm definitely up for that. I have the energy. I take care of myself well enough to. So, yeah, that might be a shock to some of you. The body is 51. That might be a surprise to some of you. All right. So, in this first dream, okay, in this first dream, there was a lot going on. Again, this dream involved the warlock whose name is Kevin. And again, he named me after him in order for him to do destiny swapping and that sort of thing throughout my journey. Okay? Okay? Confirmation. Okay? Mellow. Confirmation. All right? And so, and it's good to take care of it, even if you don't plan on bringing more seed into this earth. That's, it's good to just take care of yourself. But you need to do that. That's extremely important if you do plan on that. If you are 33, 24, 35, 40, 51, 55, 58, 63, whatever. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And there could be some type of, we're talking about, there could be some type of, confirmation, ding dong. There could be some type of relationship that's coming together, and there is an age difference. Okay? So he could be much older, she could be much older, and divine source is saying, this is my today's Abraham and Sarah. This is my today's Abraham and Sarah. And there's some women out there like, oh, hell no, I'm not. It's okay. If it's not your journey, it's not your journey. I would hope that you would not pass up the opportunity to bring forth a divine being just because you were afraid you're going to gain weight and not be able to lose it. Because if you bring forth a divine child, divine source will definitely bless your health. I can assure you of that. I can assure you of that. Okay? So, yeah. So try something new. Just said they accept. So try something new. So try something new. Okay? So, again, there could be something about an age difference. I'm 51 today. Someone comes to me and they're the divine partner and they're 63. Are they willing to? They're 55. They're 52. They're 58. Are they willing to? They might be looking at me at 51 and they could be 30 and looking at me like, are you up for this? I am. 100%. I am. Okay? I am. All right? So in this dream, this warlock, okay, who gave me their names, stole me from my daddy, okay? He was, we were all coming together, and again, at a house, location somewhere. And he has a sister whose name is Michelle. Pay attention to everything that I say. I'll just say interesting thought with that statement. Satamine or whatever your name is, Satami, whatever that is. I will just say interesting thought, and I'll just leave that at that. I want to stay on track with what Divine Source is speaking to me about at this time. But interesting. Interesting. Some women would, if Divine Source came to a 90-year-old woman today and told her, or an 80-year-old woman today, and was like, hey, 80-year-old woman, let me think of somebody who's 80. If Divine Source came to Felicia Rashad, okay? Claire Huxtable, okay? If Divine Source came to Felicia Rashad and was like, hey, Felicia, somebody's sister could be Debbie, or Debbie could be significant, or an Alan. Came to Felicia Rashad to say and was like, hey, Felicia, you're meant to birth a seed. I don't know how old Felicia is today, but she might be like, what the hell? You know, she probably would be because of what man has taught her. Okay? And the society that she's in currently. She might be like, oh, hell no. Just saying. Okay? So in this dream, there people were gathering. Again, pay attention to especially to the names. Okay? So Kevin, okay, is coming to this place. He has a sister whose name is Michelle. Michelle was in this dream. And Michelle is a red bone. Somebody could be red bone. Okay? So who's a red bone? Raven Simone, red bone. Lisa Ray McCoy, red bone. Left Eye, red bone. Tisha Campbell, red bone. That skin color. Okay? That skin tone. I shouldn't say skin color. That skin tone. Okay? Michelle is that skin tone. She's the lightest of her siblings. Michelle is. Okay? And there was eight of them. Okay? Whoa, somebody said, I am Felicia. Hello. Hello, Felicia. I don't know, Felicia. Again, there are no such things as coincidence. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in, Akasha. Thank you so much for tuning in. All right. So what's up, Felicia? Okay. And so there's a little gathering happening at this place, at this house, wherever, in this first dream. And Kevin comes in and he says, there's chatter and this and that. But again, I didn't write down all of the details. He comes in and he says, hey, he says, look what I got. And he comes in with fishing poles. Her name's Shelly. Comes in with fishing poles, and he has all these different types of fish. Listen to what I'm saying from this dream that happened less than 24 hours ago. Listen to what I'm saying. He has all of these fish on these hooks, on these poles that he has caught. Again, we're talking about a polygamist. Many women, 7, 8, 9 women at one time, sometimes same house, sometimes 2 or 3 houses. Okay? He has 17 or 18 kids that we've counted. 17 or 18 kids that we've counted. That's not counting me. Okay? Hello. Thank you so much for tuning in, Janet. All right? One of the women is connected with him, who was the Queen Bee. Okay? Take that B as it resonates. Queen Bee, her name is Janet. That's nothing against you, Janet. Okay? But her name was Janet. Janet shows up when I start talking about Kevin. No coincidence. Janet shows up when I start talking about Kevin. That's not to say that you are the dark witch warlock that Janet was, Janet. I'm just saying the name similarity. Okay? So Janet shows up. So he brings all these fishing poles in it. Look what I got, look what I got, look what I got. He was like, man, come here, you're not good. They called me Kevin. Okay, again, I was named after him so that he could destiny swap with me after he took me from my biological father. Come here, show me, come here. Let me show you what I got. He brings in all these fishing poles, all these different fish. Some of them are ugly. Some of them are not very, I don't know, whatever a pretty fish is. They are not, some of them are not that. Okay? And so I'm looking at all these fish, all different sizes, shapes, colors, and this is exactly how he was in the 3D. It's exactly how he was. Okay? There you go, Janet. And so he brings in all of these different fish, different colors, different species of fish, some of them nice looking, some of them not. What I will say about the women that he did lure in, they were all good-looking women. I will say that. They were all good-looking women. All extremely attractive, okay? all got booties, you know what I'm saying? He got, right, he knew how to pick them, right? All of them were attractive. They were all attractive. The only, let me think, two he was involved in, okay? Two he was involved in that were not brown Americans, that were not brown Americans. So he had sex with the German woman that I was involved in a relationship with years prior, and she ended up giving birth to a girl named Zoe. Okay? So he had sex with a lot of the women that I had sex with, in addition to taking my first wife. Okay? She years later had a daughter named Zoe and claimed she didn't know who the father was. But that was a lie, as we found out. She basically told on herself. Okay? Yeah. Right. Yeah. I know, Marsha. I know. Right. And so that is definitely a sign with all those different fish. He said that he had to go to the bathroom so bad. He had to go to the bathroom so bad because he held it in order to catch all of these fish. Now, what would this mean? This was a light bulb moment for me when Divine Source revealed the meaning behind this to me today. This was a light bulb moment. This is what Divine Source said about him holding his pee in order to catch more fish. Divine Source said, he and other low vibrational energy, they will sacrifice the care of themselves in order to do demonic, deceitful, cunning, underhanded things. So holding your urine for long periods of time, we know that's not healthy for your kidneys. He was willing to hold his pee, as he said, and he said, I got to pee so bad because I held it for so long trying to catch all of these fish. He, for confirmation, horn honk, he forsook the care of himself, the high vibrational care of himself, in order to do demonic things. Keep ringing the bell, Divine. Keep ringing the bell. So, demonic low vibrational energy, they will sacrifice themselves. They will fly planes into buildings in order to kill somebody. Low vibrational demonic beings, they will sacrifice themselves in order to lie, cheat, steal, kill, and destroy. Okay? So he held his urine I said years. Woo! I said years, and I meant days. So he held his urine spiritually for years, decades, forsaking the right spiritual, conscious spiritual journey in order to remain this polygamist. And he was a polygamist for 30 something years before getting incarcerated, partially by my testimony in court in 2014. Okay? So that's what karmic energy will do. They will not take care of themselves. They will come after you. Starseed, Earth Angel, Healer, Light Worker. They will, confirmation baby. Okay? So forsaking self-care in order to do demonic things. That was Kevin's journey this lifetime. Okay? And so then I had a conversation with someone on a street that I lived on in a dream, another dream. I had a conversation with someone on a street that I lived on in Daytona Beach, Florida. Now check out the irony of this. The woman that I married, my second marriage, we got married in 2015. Okay? By 2019, I had filed for divorce. Okay? She wouldn't sign the papers, so I had to go get an attorney, and she had to be served the papers. She wouldn't sign the papers when I just showed up and gave them to her. So I had to get an attorney involved. Okay? Hello, thank you so much for tuning in. Okay? There's showed, or however that goes. Okay? And so I'm having a conversation with someone. The woman that I married in 2015, before marrying her, before getting reconnected with her and all of that, I was seeing a woman whose name is Linda. Linda and Ammons. Linda Ammons. Linda Ammons is a middle school teacher. Linda and Ammons. Again, any name could resonate for your journey. Linda and Ammons. Ammons. So Linda lived on this certain street in Daytona Beach, Florida. The second house that me and this Taurus that I married in 2015 moved into was like 8 houses down, 9 houses down from her on the same street. In this dream, I am talking to someone about someone moving right next door to me on this particular street. Okay? In this dream. So there could be something about, and again, take what resonates, something about someone who's been following you your entire life. Someone who's been following you. So you move from Arkansas to Louisiana, they follow you. You move from St. Croix to Florida, they follow you. You move from Savannah, Georgia to Okalakachuka, Florida, they follow you. Where you move from Sacramento, you move to Tucson, Arizona. There's something about someone following you everywhere you go your entire life. Okay? Yeah, yay, dream story time. I've already told the first one, Christine. You might need to rewind it a little bit, okay? And she's saying that because she's here for so many of them, because she's faithful to this collective. I don't know what else to say to her, about her. She's outstanding. Girl, you knocked me out, okay? So, Christine, all right? But she is. And I don't mean that in a flirtatious way. I mean in an energetic way. She's outstanding. She shows up, asks great questions, always inquisitive, always answering, always interacting. That's just who she is. Like so many others of you. Like so many others of you. Okay? So there's something about someone who's been following you. You move to this neighborhood, they move to that neighborhood. You move to this block, they move to that block. You move to this city, they move to that city. You move to this county, they move to that county. Like what? Yeah. Sounds familiar. Yeah, Sherry. All right, so that was the second summary of the second dream. Conversation I had with someone, okay? Who's keeping tabs on you everywhere you go. They know when you go check the mailbox. They know when the mailman arrives. They know when you leave for work. They know within 5 minutes when you're coming home. They know the stores you shop at or used to. Okay. Finally, last dream that I'm going to share is involving identity theft. Identity theft. Okay. So I was in line, I don't know, at some place that like swap IDs or something, to get in. You have to get in and walk through like some metal detector or something, like a courtroom or something, or not a courtroom, a courthouse, okay, or something. So you swiping IDs. People are swiping IDs. I'm standing in line. Someone that I grew up with is standing directly behind me, another male. I get up there, right, and I get ready to pull out my car. I'm looking like, driver's license. I actually saw my military ID in there, which I don't even actually have anymore. I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay. Again, we have so many similarities in our journey for the entire collective. All starseeds, healers, light workers, because the devil has no new tricks. This is why it sounds so similar, even though you may just be starting to wake up, or you may have been in your spiritual journey since 1989. We're all on different timelines, but this is why it seems so similar. because they stalked in 1846, they stalked in 1486, they stalked in 2 AD, they stalked in 2 BC. No new tricks. Gang stalkers then, gang stalkers now. The only difference is the apparatus, the tool. From horse and buggy, camel, donkey, to vehicle, airplane, right? Car, motorcycle, bicycle. That's the only difference. Technology today. So now they get to gang stalk you online, when in 1980, they did not do that. But they stalked you nonetheless. Just different apparatuses. Okay? Okay? Go, see, you're remembering, Christine. You're remembering. All right. So, I'm going to read Christine's message here in a moment. So in this last dream, we're standing in line, and I'm looking through, like, trying to find whatever ID that they want. Come to find out, don't ask me why. Come to find out, there is, well, I say don't ask me why, I know why. We were actually scanning debit cards, okay? We were scanning debit cards. So I pull out my debit card. It has my name on it clearly on the card, okay? I scan my debit card. The individual that I grew up behind me in the 3D, that I grew up with in the 3D, they pull out an old card. The name is faded. You know how the obviously I won't show my debit card on the screen, but you know how the gold painted letter, whatever, how it can fade, and then you have to kind of like really kind of look at the card in the right light and that sort of thing to see the name sometimes because it's faded, right? The gold or silver letter paint, whatever that is faded off. He had one of those cards. It was an old card. And so he goes and I'm like, and I push his hand back like, what the fuck you doing? Like, how did you get one of my, why is my name on that card? I can see my name on that card, even though it was a faded card. I can see, look, that's my name. Like, why do you have my, so identity theft. That was in a dream. Identity theft. Okay? And this is by someone who is closer to you than you think in most cases. Someone who had your social security number, someone who could pass your social security number on to someone. This could be someone who does your taxes. This could be an employer. This could be someone who you lived with. This could be someone you invited into your house to stay with you or you stayed with. This could be someone that you gave your card to at one point in time, got a hold of your social security card, anything. But this is someone close to you. Close to you. Okay? So, yeah. All right? So that was the third dream. I'm going to read Christine's dream here in a moment because I am interested. Let's take a look. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. We have 24 in the room and 37 likes. It is 9:50 in the evening here in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, on the equinox and the end of the Mercury retrograde. Actually ended yesterday on 320. Mercury retrograde ended 320. Winter ended 320 for the northern hemisphere. Southern hemisphere, summer ended. So South America going into their fall, North America, northern hemisphere going into their spring, and we are in a new astrological year on a 321-777. Okay, so flew overseas on my layover. I was at my final destination. I got a hotel room only to realize I needed to return to the airport. While I was waiting on my Uber to go back to the airport, somebody stole two pieces of my luggage. Ooh. Okay. Could be an ex. All right, all right, all right. Yep. For that close individual who stole your social security number or identity. Definitely. Okay. Definitely. Could be an ex who you lived with. Okay. Made copies of things when you weren't looking. So, Someone trying to steal your valuables and interrupt your travel plans, Christine. Christine, are you the one who told me that you recently got your passport, or you were recently making travel plans? It could be someone else. I'm going back several live conversations ago. Okay? So, Christine, that could be a heads up, okay? To keep an eye on your luggage, extra eye on your luggage. So don't check your luggage in super early. You might want to keep it by you until you have to check it in, okay? Don't ask anybody to watch your luggage while you run to the restroom at the airport. No. Take it in there with you, okay? Roll it right on in there, all right? So, hold on to your luggage until you have to check it in if you're checking in luggage. Okay? So someone's trying to interrupt your travel plans, Christine, energetically. Return to sender, return to sender, return to sender. Times 5,000 with vengeance and a sword. You know what to do energetically, Christine. Someone's trying to interrupt your travel plans. Okay? All right? Disrupt things. Disrupt your travel plans. Disrupt your travel plans, Christine. Someone's trying to disrupt your travel plans. Okay? So pay attention around you also. Okay? Pay attention. I don't want to make you paranoid. Please don't be paranoid. Okay? But pay attention around you. When you get to the airport, you go get a coffee. Who's at the coffee bar with you? Who comes to stand in line with you? Then later on, at your layover, you go and you get some chips. Who's there? Pay attention. Pay attention. Again, not to be paranoid. Just keep your eye open. Keep your eye open. Okay? All right? So, I don't know. This might be it, collective. I've shared a lot. I have shared a lot here. I'm definitely looking forward to the class of 7. Okay, maybe that's what I'll call it, the class of 7. We are going to be talking about, again, 7 spirits of divine source in conjunction with and the connection to your 7 chakras, the 7 lamps that's spoken of in the book of Revelation, in the religious book. We're going to be speaking about the 7 categories of your vertebrae, 33 of them at birth. They are fused into 24, okay, as you age, okay? Yeah, okay? Looking forward to all of that, okay? And the 7 spiritual laws of divine source, that will be added in there. The 7 spiritual laws of divine source, okay? Yeah, there's been a lot. I've shared a lot. Are there any other questions before we go? We have 27 in the room and 38 likes. Thank you so much, everyone, for the love. Okay. We spoke about divine interventions. Why divine interventions come? Oh, no worries. Okay. Yeah. No worries. All right. So why does interventions come? Interventions are both natural and spiritual. Natural interventions, the flood was a natural intervention because of man's disobedience. The parting of the Red Sea for the children of Israel, divine intervention. Sarah giving birth to a child at the age of 90, divine intervention. Abraham being provided the ram in the bush. He was about to sacrifice his son Isaac, being obedient to divine source's order, command. Divine intervention, brought the ram in the bush. He didn't have to kill his child. Divine intervention. Okay? Yeshua's resurrection. Okay? Christ's resurrection. Divine intervention. Enoch's ascension. They didn't die. They never found a body. Enoch's ascension. Divine intervention. In addition to the first 6 days, created this, created that, created this, created that, created this, created that, created this. Also, um, um, in ancient times, okay, in ancient times, time was different. And again, man added 2 more months to the year. Originally, it was only 10 months, and March was the first month of the year. Originally, you can look it up. Man added February and January and February. Look it up. Man added. Okay. The original clock rolled 24 hours. Man started with the 12, start over 12. Man started that. The original clock, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way to 24, and then start over. The original clock. The original clock. Okay? Oh, okay. Yeah. Absolutely. They ascended out of that place, wherever their physical body was. Yeah. They ascended out of that place. That was divine intervention. Why? Because most human beings, they lie and the body ends up stinking if it's not cremated. Okay? Bugs, maggots, you know, come and consume the physical body. It didn't happen with him. Or Enoch. Okay? But in divine sources creation, the reason why I'm mentioning the time thing is because one day today is not 24 hours as it was back then. One day today was a week. So when you read canonical texts and it speak about one day, that was 1 week. 7 days. Okay? So that changes the perspective on the first day God created, on the second day God created, on the third day God created. It changes that a little bit, doesn't it? Okay? Because one day back then wasn't 24 hours. It was longer than that. I just got a crown bump. Okay? It is, okay? Through me, Sherry, and I'm not going to get into that. Okay? But it is. Yeah. Uh-huh. It is. All right? And so, and no, I'm not saying that I am Christ. That is far from what I'm saying. For those of you who want to start a fire, you know what I'm confirmation. That's not at all what I'm saying. Okay? Mm. It's because you're open to it, Christine. And that's not just here. Again, I don't pat myself on the back. Whatever divine source reveals here, I say things that I'm like, whoa, what did I just say? You know, I say things like that all the time. I am just a willing vessel. And I'm willing to open up the throat chakra. And I'm unafraid. Those things are game changers. When you're willing to speak up and you're unafraid, listen, they've already gang stalked me. They've already poisoned me. They've already caused me to go into chronic and acute kidney failure. They've already had me have shingles. They already took my first wife. They already, you know what I'm saying? They already had me close up my businesses, had me be homeless 3 times, twice while I was on dialysis. They've already done so much shit. Today, man, what can man do to me? Nothing. Nothing. I walk around every day. I don't, or most days, I don't stay in the house. I don't stay just cooped up, scared to go out. I walk around. Whatever, as free as I want to be. What can man do to me today? They've already done it. So I'm willing to speak up and I'm unafraid. That changes the enemy's perspective. That changes their perspective. Okay? All right? Have them looking like Chris Tucker and Ice Cube on Friday. Damn! You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, They're not. Oh, wait. You mean, wait, they're not afraid? You mean she's not, he's not, they're not running? Wait, you mean they're not, what? They're, yeah, that's right. So I live my, as I come and go as I desire and everything else today. Okay? Thank you so much for tuning in, Marsha. It's been a joy having you at the table, having you in the room, having you with the collective. It's been a joy. Okay? Mm-hmm. Yep. Giddy up. I've been getting that too. Giddy up. Okay? Giddy up. All right? So during divine's time of creation, creating the earth, as we read in the religious book, they were also setting into place spiritual laws that were not to be broken. Okay? That's why there's nothing new under the sun. I spoke about the enemy, no new tricks, nothing new under the sun. Divine source did not change a spiritual law just because man decides to accept polygamy, just because man decides to accept lesbian relationships, okay, or artificial insemination. Divine isn't like, oh, okay, okay. So since man, okay, man. Since you can do artificial insemination, okay. Then yeah. Then a divine union, yeah, it can be cooch on cooch, okay, and wand on wand. Yeah. It can be that. Yeah. Man, since okay. Let me change the spiritual laws. Okay, man. Since you can change a dick to a vagina, okay. Since you can change a dick to a vagina, let's go ahead and make it okay. Let's go ahead and make it okay. I'm gonna change the spiritual laws because man, you figured it out. So I'm gonna go ahead. What? I call bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I call bullshit. Divine did not do that. So the spiritual laws are the spiritual laws, regardless of what man can circumvent today. It is what it is. Okay? Yep. We can move around. Okay? All right? So those spiritual laws were set into place during that time of creating sun, moon, earth, birds, hoofed animals, okay, fish of the sea. Okay. And there's something about the physical journey catching up with the spiritual journey. The physical journey catching up with the spiritual journey. Okay? So the spiritual journey is already complete. Okay? It's already complete as divine wants it, that is. As divine wants it. The spiritual journey is already complete. You are here, I am here to bring heaven and earth together, to bring the esoteric and the earthly together. The divine work is already done, as divine wants it done. But in the 3D, you still have choices to make. Okay? So, thank you so much as always for tuning in. Again, my name is Nehru. I am an esoteric spirit guide, born on the 333rd day of the year this time, Egyptian shamanic and descendant of Yeshua, that is, bloodline of Issa. Thank you so much as always for tuning in. I am Master Builder 33. I am here to teach. And in addition to that, I am here to learn because in and of what I am today, I do not know it all. Meaning, I cannot sit here and just rattle off answer after answer after answer after answer. What I do believe is divine source answers me pretty quick. Pretty quick. So, I can ask a question today, and by the time, or right now, at 22:06, and by the time I click off the video, divine could have already delivered the message or answer. Ancestors could have already delivered the answer. So even though I do not know, boom, every single answer, they answer pretty quick. But again, celibate, hermit mode, okay, meditation. Three necessities: hermit mode, celibacy, and meditation. Absolutely necessary. If you're not in hermit mode, when you know you're being guided to be, you haven't cut this off, you haven't cut that off, bad habits, wrong habits, people, places, social events, activities, whatever that is, your bestie, your mama, your daddy, your sister, your grown-ass son, your grown-ass daughter, whatever that is that you need to release, hermit mode. Okay? Celibacy. Give it away now. Give it away now. So, if you in that Red Hot Chili Peppers energy, okay, shout out to the Red Hot Chili Peppers. If you're in that energy today and you're still giving it away now, okay, you're obviously not celibate. You're obviously not a place where divine source can dwell in purity and in truth and enlighten you and help you ascend. Yeah, you need to do that. Okay? And if you are not in a place where you are meditating on the daily basis, more than 5 minutes a day, if you need to wake up 2 hours earlier to get 30 minutes of meditation in because you got to get the kids ready, you need to do that. Or you have an hour's drive into the office, you need to give that 2 hours so you can give 30 minutes to meditation. It will serve you well. Okay? If you are interested in any of the services that I am currently offering, please do take a look at the description section of this video. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. I've enjoyed you, your energy, your questions, okay? Even the karmics that have showed up, and even those of you who have tuned in for some time, even those have lessened. Even those have lessened. Typically, on a Friday evening, Saturday morning, typically, we are swatting roaches left and right. Like I can't get 2 sentences in without a roach showing up. Those of you who've tuned in for any length of time, you know that's true. So even that is subsiding, at least for this being on this channel, as I continue to meditate, celibacy, okay, and enjoy my hermit mode. It's not a burden to me, okay? It's not a burden to me, okay? So thank you so much as always, and be encouraged.